Yo, what is up? Welcome back to the Culture and Cannabis podcast. I am one of your hosts, Full-Time Tony, here with my co-host, JC Coates. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? What are you doing?
Happy Thursday.
Bro, I need you to turn your attitude up. Like just one or two notches, bro. That's all. Just can you turn the energy up just a little bit?
You want me to start yelling? I can start yelling. You want me to start yelling right now?
Okay, see, that's a little bit better.
Is that better?
See, everybody feels better now.
Mike, how bad was that for you, Rick?
Pretty bad.
Okay.
Sorry, Rick.
Sorry, Rick. We just get all hyped up over here. It's Thursday. We're at the podcast.
It's just Thursday. You know what I mean? You look like you're a little bit busy. You know,
we just got so many things going on right now, dude. We just got back from Oklahoma.
Just got back from Oklahoma.
Sorry.
And now we're hitting the streets running here in Nevada. And listen, it don't stop, right?
Yeah. No,
10 a.m. this morning, you had something on the calendar. What's up with that, bro? You know that's like my workout time. Like 10 a.m. Really?
10 a.m.'s your workout time?
Not really. I'm just kidding.
I was like, that's
I'm
pretty late.
I'm more like 5:30.
It's very late for you.
5:30 type of guy. Did you go to the gym this morning?
I did. Sauna was broken though.
Okay. The sauna was broken.
And it just set my objective for my day, just all downhill since then.
It's like a.
But we're gonna bring it back around. This is gonna be a great podcast. I'm really excited about this. We got two great guests in the studio. Who we got today, JC?
Yeah, we have Jenn Solid and MJ Jameson from the Tree of Life in the building today. How are you?
Hey.
Nice. Listen, thanks for being here. I appreciate the time. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what y'all have going on.
All right. Well, we work with the Tree of Life Dispensary. We have our grand opening this Saturday. So excited. We have some of JC's product in, Culture and Cannabis brand. So we have a grand opening this Saturday between 2 and 5 or 3 and 5. MJ?
Celebrations, I believe, all the way from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
And we have deals all weekend. But a little bit about our dispensary. We give 70% of our profits back to nonprofits, and the main one is Volunteers in Medicine of Southern Nevada. They serve everything from mental to dental and our underserved community. If you can't afford health insurance and you just make a little bit too much to have aid, then they serve that middle community.
Nice.
And they've been in service for how long?
Volunteers in Medicine has been around serving the Las Vegas community for a little over 10 years. They started with a clinic over on Tropicana and Eastern, and we fought hard to get that and start serving the community in a free capacity because we had no clinic like that in our community. And a few years ago now, we opened up on Martin Luther King here in Ward 5 in Las Vegas in the city. And seeing tens of thousands of patients a year, giving away millions of dollars in medication and services, and it's a really incredible organization.
And so the dispensary was created to give back. That is our main thrust of the dispensary, is to give back to the community, and so that the Jameson family has a legacy and a mechanism to give back after they have passed. It's been a great time getting this going. It's been 3 years since they got the licenses. Long haul. And just opened October 25th, and now we're doing our grand opening this weekend.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you want to recap that really quick? What do we got? We got a dispensary grand opening, right? This is on the north side of Vegas.
Exactly.
Near Aliante, right?
Yep, 150 East Centennial Parkway.
Right. And 70% of the profits are going back to these charitable organizations.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Wow. And so let's talk about this. So you had the licenses for 3 years, and you guys are just now getting to market. Let's talk about some of the challenges or some of the things that made it take 3 years to get here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually taken even a lot longer than that for our family. We were part of the first tranche of applicants, and actually were part of a dispensary in the first medical licensing back in 2014. And so have been involved in the industry since before legalization, and we're involved in a dispensary early. But that dispensary, we were minority partners and weren't able to do everything we wanted, particularly when it came to giving back. We just weren't able to give as much back as we wanted. And so eventually we separated from that group, and in the recreational round of licensing, won 3 of them. But as you absolutely know, as so many know, there was a state lawsuit that held up those licenses for several years. And in the settlement of those lawsuits, we came with a lot of good faith and offered one of our licenses up in order to facilitate the settlement going through, and everyone kind of meeting each other eye to eye and going forward in good faith. And so took years, but we're here. Nice. Beyond ecstatic. And the Las Vegas location will be the first one open. The city of North Las Vegas, will be the first one open this weekend.
Yep.
And then we will have a Las Vegas location as well.
Nice.
Wow, 2 locations.
2 locations.
At 70% profits going to charity.
Correct.
That is insane. How is that possible? How can you guys make a sustainable dispensary model? As a lot of people don't know, it's very hard to run a cannabis company. There's really no way to write things off. Taxes are a huge pain in the butt. You have to pay a lot of money to the CCB, the state, the city, maybe your county, depending on where you're at in Nevada. How are you guys being able to do that?
Well, the key word is profits.
Yeah.
70% of our profits. So after we pay the CCB, after we pay the county, after we pay the 30% to the shareholders, the 70% that's left is going to go back. Of course, we're going to pay our taxes. Of course.
Absolutely. We all know that, the cost of doing business in this industry is high. And we will be able to donate large amounts. That 70% want to be very transparent. Of course, have to have all of those upfront costs and costs of doing business. And then, of course, we will be repaying our initial approximately $1.5 million investment. But after that, as Jennifer says, profits. And so it'll take about a year, theoretically, according to our math, which we hope is on point, to get to break even. But after the first year, after break even, when we enter years 2 and 3, we hope to be giving away over $1 million a year, and then getting further into that as we get more customers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cash.
There's some things that we're doing right now, though, to give back. Like part of our ATM fees, the ATM company is donating over 60% of those fees back to charity. So we've already generated some to give back. I think
we also have a roundup program, as so many dispensaries do, and are so grateful that, of course, most of the customers don't mind paying that little bit of extra change towards the charities that we're helping. And so we'll be generating in our first year approximately $125,000 through those programs before we even break even. So we will be able to give back before we pay back our investment. So we're actively trying to give as much back as we can, and highlight and as well as not only give but highlight and exemplify our partners and help them gain some support in the community.
Nice. Wow, that's so cool. I mean, like, how was this thought of, right? Like the idea, in cannabis, like to think about charity and cannabis, it usually doesn't go hand in hand, right? It's a lot of people who are quote unquote money hungry that are, trying to make as much money as they can. So like, how did this all start?
Well, Tony, you have touched on something that's near and dear to my heart. Remember when everybody was granted their medical license and they all promised to give back to the community? And what did we see afterwards?
Nothing,
not a lot. And I was very disappointed because I was just like, I was behind it. I was so behind, let's give back to the community. And then it wasn't happening. And so the Jameson family and MJ and I have been friends for a long time, and I have a nonprofit, and we were throwing parties and doing stuff at MJ's house. And when MJ's mom said, I'm going to get some licenses and we're going to give back, I said, I'm on board. I'm on board. And so that's kind of how it was supposed to be that way. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, you know, a certain portion of our taxes are in fact, you know, going towards school initiatives, and we've seen some of those, some of that aid in real time in the pandemic that the governor, you know, pulled down. And of course, we've seen everyone in the community, for the most part, not everyone, but for the most part, most of the actors in the cannabis community do some form of giving back. But as you say, as you know, as I was mentioning before, we weren't fulfilled in our first go around to give back as much as we wanted. When we were in front of these City of Las Vegas Council getting our license, they made it so clear that we were getting our application because of our promise to give back. And so we really just felt so compelled. I have to bring up my mom and dad, who Jennifer just brought up, Doctors Guard and Florence Jameson, who are really, really incredible members of our community here in Las Vegas, who give with their, not only with their wallets, but honestly champion causes. My father started the Children's Advocacy Alliance, which is our state's largest child foster care advocacy organization. They started the Nevada Community Foundation back in the early 90s, which helps all sorts of causes here in our community. Most recently, Hope Means Nevada, which helps with teen suicides here in our community, which is a massive issue in Nevada. We have the highest rate of teen suicides amongst the 50 states, very sadly. So yeah, all of these organizations that mom and dad are so beautiful to have co-founded and helped grow will receive aid, but as well, so many other community organizations that do incredible work. So it won't only be our family's organizations, of which there are many really neat ones doing really beautiful work, but we'll be helping the LGBTQ Center, Green Our Planet, so many others.
Nice. That's crazy, you know. I mean, just to think about it, right? And I think like a lot of people in cannabis do want to give back, Tony, but I think, but there's a lot of money hungry people too. Yeah. But what happens is, you know, I don't know, like they get beat down by the regulations, right? And you know, I think that y'all are in a very unique position from what y'all have created from, you know, a lifetime of building, right? To kind of affords you this opportunity to be put in that place. How is the rest of the community kind of taking the reception to this new this new thing that you guys are creating?
It's been incredible.
We were a little worried at first that people might wonder who these new folks on the block were with their lofty mission of giving back. But honestly, the community's been incredible. We've only received wonderful deals from our vendors who see that their product is going to help give back. At first, we weren't sure that would be the case, and we're so grateful that we've been worked with by so many of our top cannabis companies. Yeah. Excuse me, but yeah, so grateful.
Our vendors are all stepping up and saying, you know, what can we do as well? Mm-hmm. What can we do to help as well? And so the reception's just been incredible and loving, and you know, we like working with like-minded folks, and you know, so I immediately thought of, you know, you and your wife, and you know.
It's so cool to be, because like, you know, we know each other from the Culture and Cannabis events, right? Many years. Weekend, which is the nonprofit that you spoke of, right?
Yep.
Y'all would participate in our events, and it's always cool to see some of those relationships come back. You know what I mean? Because, you know, every month you would pack up that tent, you know, and you would drive to wherever we were, and you would set that thing up, and you know, it was a lot of energy, right, that y'all gave, and we would put the energy to make it organized, and so, you know, it might seem like years and years down the road, but some of it's coming back, right, and paying dividends, and it's really cool. So all right, so what are some of the big major vendor lineups at the Tree of Life? Who you guys got there?
Culture and Cannabis.
Culture and Cannabis is on the shelf. All right.
What?
Yep.
So we also have one of my favorites, cannabiotics.
Nice.
Love cannabiotics.
Absolutely.
Fleur and
Fleur, Fiore,
Suma and Serene
and Rove.
and Rove and
Nice.
just
All that's some great ones. And then so the grand opening is on what day?
Saturday.
Saturday, and it's all day long. So what's going to happen at the grand opening?
Yeah, we'll have sort of a celebration from the late morning, 10 a.m. onwards through like 4 p.m. And we'll have some local Vegas sort of street performers, sort of underground culture, some lovely food truck options for guests, as well as a DJ provided by Rove. Hopefully a couple lovely guest speakers, probably a couple folks from the North Las Vegas government community, city council, Tick Seeger Bloom.
Nice.
A lot of the friends of cannabis.
Is there going to be a ribbon cutting?
We actually had a ribbon cutting at our little soft opening with City Councilman Chichurio, whose district we're in. My mom will say some words, and she's always a lovely speaker. She always pulls those heartstrings, and you kind of see the vision through her.
Nice. You excited about the
I'm
grand
pumped.
opening?
I can't wait to go there. What time are we popping up at?
I think we're there. I don't know, I have to look at the schedule. Is it? Are we scheduled throughout the day?
I think that it is scheduled throughout the day, and there's going to be food trucks there, and I think that I'm not really sure. I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
look at
that's
the
okay.
schedule.
Yeah.
We've been so hectic getting this going.
That's okay. We'll follow up. I know we're going to be there for 2 or 3 hours, so I'm excited about that. We sent over our 24 karat gold hustlers are over there. We sent over our 7 gram ready to rolls over there.
Yep.
We have some of our pre rolls over there. We sent over a bunch of promos over there.
Beautiful.
So I'm sure there's going to be some 1 cent pre rolls going down.
Oh yeah, major deals.
Can't get enough of that deal.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about some of MJ, some of your background, how you've kind of served in the community in the past.
Honestly, I could go into a little bit more detail of how we got in, and it's been a real journey, as I know for so many people it has. I was living in Scotland, just finished up my master's over there, and was never planning on coming home to Nevada. And I saw the marijuana industry sort of pop up, and I've always been an advocate and an enthusiast for the plant. Living in Europe, spent a little bit too much time in the coffee shops of Amsterdam, and just really loved and respected the culture and the history that I dived into and learned a lot about, and wanted to come home and kind of influence how that unfolded here in our community. When I came home, I was hit with some reality that my mother, who was at the time the president of the Nevada Medical Association, did not see any merit in medical cannabis. And this, of course, was in 2013, when we were just getting medical cannabis legalized here in our state. And as a doctor, she was looking at our universities and did not see the evidence or the studies. And so as a woman of organized medicine, she was going to our state senators up in Carson City and actually advocating against the passage of medical marijuana in Nevada in 2012-13. I came home and said, "Time out, Mom, could we have a talk?" And to her credit, as a woman of science and just an open listener, she allowed me in, and I provided her a white paper that I had created with university studies from around the world. Because of course, as you know, we were shut off. We weren't allowing our universities to do it, but they were in everywhere else in the world. In Israel, particularly, highly effective studies by incredible universities in the UK, in France, South Africa, Australia, Japan. The rest of the world was actually doing these studies. And so I compiled a bunch, gave them to Mom, and she said, wow, look at this, medical information, and took my inch of information, went her own mile of extra research, and did a full 180 on medical cannabis. And that came hand in hand at a moment with my sister going through an incredible pancreatic disease. We were going to the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio, one of our nation's best hospitals, because the doctors couldn't figure it out in Los Angeles or Nevada. And the only thing that ended up giving her respite and relief of her symptoms was cannabis. And so I don't know if it was a universe send or what, but my parents' eyes flew wide open and saw that there was some real truth and absolute truth to the medical quality of cannabis. And from that point, I pinched myself that they were willing to explore getting into the business with their daughters, and yeah, my sister's also been an influence. She lives in Santa Fe and created our beautiful logo that you'll all see when you come to the Tree of Life.
Yeah, I've seen it. That's crazy. I mean,
That's a great story.
It is a great story. It just lends to the fact that it's just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just when you just get a little bit of knowledge, it can really just change everything and just open the floodgates of opportunity and blessing and everything else.
Definitely,
just
God
a change of perspective, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes Tony sends me a bunch of medical jargon, and I can't read it. I can't read any of it. I just tell him he's full of shit.
Yeah, majority of the time.
I'm just kidding. But listen, I can't wait to get down there Saturday. I'm gonna dive into all the food trucks.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Yes.
do it. Do we know what kind of food trucks are gonna be there?
I think there's going to be tacos.
I'm allowed to eat tacos.
Jason's
You're allowed to eat
favorites.
tacos.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to eat tacos.
And there might be pizza. I think there was tacos. for
Two
sure.
things JC can eat.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to
Really?
Rove again, who are helping us with those food trucks. But
Absolutely.
I wish I could shout out those vendors, but I know that one of them will be tacos, and that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let us know if you ever need any food trucks in the future.
Absolutely.
We got you. Tony,
We
We
got
appreciate
plugs.
you guys so much.
we
Thank
got the
you.
plugs, yeah.
Thank you.
What else do you guys want to talk about today? Jennifer, I want to talk about some of your advocacy work,
Yes.
right? Like
thank you.
you were doing the advocacy in Las Vegas before it was cool to be a cannabis advocate, right?
Yeah,
Is that fair to say?
The godmother of Nevada cannabis advocacy.
I will tell you, it was a long haul, and walking up to Dina Titus and asking her what she thought of cannabis in 2012 was not really popular. But I'm a veterinary medical professional, and I taught veterinary medicine for about 11 years.
I did not know that.
Before I got
Very
into
cool.
thank you. Before I got into cannabis, and what happened was I started throwing medical cannabis parties because I couldn't find any clones. I was a patient, and I asked the state, well, where do I get product? Where do I get this? But they said, we just gave you the card, hon. So, and that was fine. And so I started a meetup group, and the meetup group led to people just asking me for cannabis because I was growing it myself, and then people were coming to me that were sick, that were hurting, that lived in apartments, couldn't grow cannabis, and they were asking me to sell it to them. And as a medical professional, and I have a veterinary license, a nursing license, I can't sell anything. I can't do anything like that and jeopardize my career. So I said, well, what would be fair, So I started throwing these parties. People would get together. We would trade clones, and I would give clones away to people. Old Blue Dream, right?
Yes.
Back in the day, I was growing, and
So much Blue Dream.
so much Blue Dream, and so from that little seed, and throwing parties. People were just like, well, what are you doing with this money that you're throwing parties? I'm like, well, it costs money. You know this, right? Throwing events costs money.
Yes, it does.
And all of the mechanism around it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to make a nonprofit. And at that time, we helped people get their cards in Nevada who couldn't afford it. We helped over 300 people get their medical marijuana cards in Nevada, and over 35% of those people were veterans. And I saw there was a big need in the community for, people to get together and events and stuff like that. And then when I was a general manager for a dispensary here for a couple years, and we didn't see any business. All the dispensaries were kind of going down the drain. I mean, it took a lot of money to keep them going. Yes. And so I started advocating in the medical era. And so I started advocating for recreational, for access to all, safe access for all people. And I served on a couple of legislative committees, and I helped write the laws for recreational cannabis, especially in labeling, and I cross-pollinated to education and also law enforcement. So I sat on that committee for 6 months, and if you ever get asked to go on a committee, you know what that means? Free.
Okay.
You're working for free.
The state of Nevada wants you for free.
Yeah, you gotta buy your own lunch.
You gotta buy your own lunch, that's true. And so after, in doing that, then I saw a big need for education. Then we were doing Trim Ready. We did Trim Ready for a couple of years, educated over almost 4,000 people here in the state of Nevada. 80% people that took our courses got jobs. So that's a really good rate of employment. And I just have been working in the industry as well. My husband works in the industry as well. And it's just a family business, like you.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is a family business. Yeah. That's great. No, I love that. To see where you're at now, you seem happy. And I know that you did a lot of that work, and it was free. And it was tiring, and it took a lot of energy, and you probably didn't always get the best outcomes, but that's advocacy work, right?
It is.
But you congratulations to where you're at now. It looks like you're in a great group of a supporting cast that has synergistic values that lines up with you, and I think that's really important. And I think it's really great, and I think that I'm excited for what the Tree of Life is going to do for this community, and I can't wait to see it unfold. Right? We're sitting here talking about it, and unfortunately, a lot of people did say they were going to give back in the beginning. You know what I mean? And it sucks, and they didn't, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, I really hope, and I feel I have a good feeling about this. I know this is a different situation, but I can't wait to see it unfold. I think our community needs more of this. It's a real leadership type of move, and I'm excited, and I hope it gets done the right way.
My God, we're so appreciative, and honestly, we know that 70% is a lot, but we hope to also be setting a very real world example of you can set a number, and that can be what you give back. You don't have to be Paul Newman, give all back to charity. We're 70%. We know that that's outrageous. We're so blessed as a family that we don't need the profits, but we know that so many people rely on their business to make their livelihood. But to earmark any amount for your community is admirable.
Yep. And one more thing that I'm just super excited about is our employees get their health insurance paid for 100%.
Oh,
wow. I might need to drive a Tree of Life, honestly.
Right? Are y'all hiring?
We are going to be hiring for our second store very soon. We're going to be opening up in January, February, probably end of January.
Interesting.
And we'll have a QR code on the door. So we're hiring from our community as well.
I have a good hire for you. So
All right.
maybe I'll send y'all somebody.
Please,
Absolutely.
taking recommendations.
What, Tony, is that you?
Me?
Oh, you're full time,
Tony's
right?
busy. Tony's busy.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate y'all coming on. It's incredible what y'all are doing at the Tree of Life. I'm excited to see it unfold. Where can they find y'all online? And send us out with some parting words.
Yeah, our website is treeoflifenv, as in Nevada.com. And honestly, it's we're just looking for that community support to give back to our communities, our cause, and so our promise is the more you buy, the more we give back and help. So come help support and get a little something from it as well. Thank you.
Nice. Of course. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
coming on.
much.
Of
We
course.
appreciate it.
Of course. There you have it. Full-time Tony.
That's it.
Tree of Life. I know where you're going to be on Saturday
At the Tree of Life.
at the Tree of Life.
That's what I'll
We
be.
don't know exactly what time, but we will figure
Don't
that
know
out.
the time yet, but we'll be there.
We'll figure that out. I'll even put it on the calendar.
Please put it on the calendar.
Because I know you've been waiting for me
Yeah,
to put it on the
just
calendar.
put it on the calendar, bro,
Let's put
and
it on-
we will know the time.
let's put it on the calendar.
But next time.
What else is going on?
I think that's it. Oh, we have a pop-up tomorrow as well.
Very cool.
Over at Nevada Made Marijuana from
Mm-hmm.
6 to 8 at their new location. It's in Henderson off of St. Rose Parkway.
Yeah.
We'll
Super
be there.
dope location.
Yeah, very brand new, really nice. 6 to 8 o'clock we'll be there. And then on Saturday we'll be at the Tree of Life. Undisclosed time, but we'll be posting about it on social media, so stay tuned for that. And I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else.
All right. Listen, thanks for listening to the Culture and Cannabis podcast, and we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Out.